everyone, Ballroom BackStage. As of right now, competitions are on hold, postponed, everything is slowing down for the time being. We're having time to create some fun content. But before we're gonna talk about like life and all that, you mentioning that you're right now opening the hotline for dancers, for dance studio owners, if they need to talk about business, consult about something, because right now is kind of very challenging time. Can you tell more about that?
Yeah, so obviously my last coaching trip was cut short, and I flew home on Saturday night, and then I had Sunday to unpack and Monday, to just wrap my mind around what is going on right now. So I didn't really know, which direction to go. I obviously, like everybody else, offered online lessons, and I still do. But then I was also thinking, how can I help? Because we all want to help each other. We are a big dance family, and I obviously want to do my part. So then last night I freaked out. It had to happen. It just had to happen because as much as the head wants to go with the program and whatever, the secondary nervous system knows there's something wrong, and it responds, and to a certain extent you have to allow it, because you can't, if you suppress this, it just gets worse. So I'm running on maybe 2 or 3 hours sleep because I couldn't sleep and my mind was going 150 miles an hour and whatever not happened to me. So I got that out of my system, and then I figured, okay, well, I'm not the only one feeling like this. Everybody is in the same boat. And I ran big studios before. I had 2 Fred Astaire dance studios in Florida. I had my studio in Los Angeles, and I sold my last studio a year ago, so I'm only out in consulting and coaching for the last year. So I figured what I can do best is just to be there for everybody right now. So I have a free hotline. I'm sure the number is appearing somewhere on this picture right now. Don't ask me by heart, but it's appearing somewhere. So please do call that number if you need any help. If you're freaking out, if you just want to bounce off an idea, if you have any questions.
Business or anything?
Well, we're talking more about the business part right now.
Oh, okay.
So if you're a teacher worrying about your students, if you're thinking, what can I do now, how to keep my mind good, how to get out of this, let's bounce ideas, or let's just help you to keep your mind straight. Whatever it is that you need, just call me and we talk about it.
You actually got through interesting time. In 2008 was this big crash, the crisis, and you had your 2 studios at the time,
2008,
right?
I had one studio,
okay.
And it was just when everything was starting to go really well, 2008 came.
How did you, back then, how did you cope with everything?
Honestly, as weird as it sounds, turned off the news. Because there was so much chatter going on non-stop. That was the only thing we were listening to, how bad the economy is. And then the general opinion, every student was coming in, oh my God, are you gonna go bust? And you know what? No, I didn't. I don't know if I can compare the situation, because right now lives are at stake, then money was at stake, so it's a little different. But people will always dance. People need to dance. It's like if things get really rough, look at Italy, people sing and dance. So they're not gonna stop dancing. People are not gonna stop dancing. Maybe there's right now a little delay in things, but we're gonna be back. Dance business is gonna recover, and we just have to find a way to go through challenging times. We just maybe have to find other ways. It's maybe a time where we can renew ourselves, or where we can learn, or where we can put some input into ourselves and grow and step above it. There's a lot of opportunity in a crisis, and once we did the freaking out part, we're open for that. So I'm just offering to help with whatever I can.
What was the next step for you back to
in
2008? What was the next? Okay, you turned off the news.
Yes.
What else was happening for you in the studio? How was the daily business in the studio?
Before 2008, there was a period of time we were literally, the studio was going great. We were flying, things were good, and revenue was coming in, I would say, abundantly. So 2008 happened, and what we had to do, we had to just get better at what we do. Because if it's a little bit more scarce, you just have to be better. So it was more a challenge to get more excellent and to grow and to get more knowledge and to train better, to just tighten the grid line where we're losing students, where we turn people away, where we could do something better. So yeah, we just had to work a little more.
How was the atmosphere in the studio between teachers? Because somebody will have a stress, they will freak out.
Yes.
How was that?
Obviously it was stressful because people have very strong opinions, especially when it comes down to money. Money is very personal, and everybody has a feeling about money, and everybody has a feeling about how things should be dealt with. And my recommendation of turn off the news got also widely opposed with saying, well, you are unrealistic. So I just tried to be steadfast, because what people don't understand, what I mean by turn off the news, it doesn't mean to put
Isolate
your hand
yourself.
in the sand.
Yeah.
It means to just try to not get wrapped up in that daily chatter, in this general opinion, because that becomes negative. And out of negativity, it's a belief system. Believe it or not, business is a belief system. Whatever you believe, you can achieve. So whatever is in your mindset, it's so precious, it's so valuable. This is where everything starts and everything ends, with how you think about it and how you get through things and how you perceive things.
So can you give some examples? Give some advices more? Go into detail. That would be interesting.
For example, it was a funny thing, actually. You and I, we were both there. You and I, we were in San Francisco, actually on a vacation.
Oh yeah,
a few years ago.
I remember that. Not few, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was a while back.
A while back. Okay.
A while back, maybe 8 years back. And the economy was still recovering, and we were sitting in a restaurant, and it was overlooking the harbor, and there was a big freight ship going through, and then we couldn't but overhear
there was a couple just next to us.
Yes, there was a couple next to us.
A little bit older.
A little older couple, and the freight ship was half empty.
Yeah.
We don't know for what reason, but this older couple immediately looked at that freight ship and immediately said, oh my God, look, the economy is so bad, even the freight ship is half empty, everything is horrible. And we were laughing.
We were laughing because there's so many reasons why it could be half.
I know there's so many reasons why that freight ship could be empty. I know. So it's just about that mindset. And another thing with the business is it's never over until you give up. Even if you think it's over, and even if you think it can't get any worse, trust me, it can get worse, but also you will get through it. If you want to, there is another side. It's if you give up in your mind or not. Once you say I don't want anymore or I can't anymore, that's when it stops. But if you still keep your mind on your goal, whatever adversity comes towards you, you usually are able to get past it. And a good lesson, actually, a life lesson I got from my dad.
What did he say?
Where it's like I went through struggles in life like everybody else, and usually if everything goes completely haywire, last resort is I call my dad. So it was one of these occasions. I was calling, I was crying my eyes out. I was bawling. I mean, I was completely devastated. And I was calling and I was crying and I was gasping for air from crying, and my dad started laughing at me. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm crying. My daddy started laughing. So thank God I'm trusting my dad. I didn't get mad because I knew he would never want to hurt me. Yeah. So I knew, all right, he doesn't want to hurt me. He's laughing like crazy at me. So what is it? And he said, well, accept it. And I'm like, what do you mean accept it? Well, this is horrible and this is unfair and this happened to me and oh my God. He said, well, accept it. What are you gonna do? It's like, but. He said, what are you gonna do? This is how it is. Can you, you can't control what the other person is doing. So this is what it is. You got to accept it. You can't sit there and cry like this. You have to accept it. And I'm like, but he's like, in life anything can happen. Today you have your house, tomorrow you don't have it. That maybe today you have the money, tomorrow you don't. it's not necessarily always your fault. You know, wars happen, people disappear, whatever. I mean, the worst things happen. It's life. So the biggest gift he gave me is that he taught me about acceptance. So, you know, I was like, and then I listened to him, and that really was a life lesson that I took with me since ever and ever and ever. And whatever
awesome.
happens right now, I'm going
awesome.
back to that life lesson.
Let's talk about a little bit of your career.
Yes.
Everybody thinks that you were dancing ballroom.
I know.
But you were dancing Latin the most.
I'm a Latin girl,
as
yes.
much as I aware.
Oh, well.
Okay. When was that? One of my favorite questions. When was teenage conscious decision that you're going to connect your life with that?
You know, funny enough, I come from an academically trained background and family. I'm the only dancer in my environment. So I fell in love with dancing when I was 3. My mom and dad put me in ballet class, and that was it. I was in love, and you know, I've never looked back.
You were in love because of dancing or because of the pink tutus?
Well, I don't know. What's first, the chicken or the egg? One or the other, but both had a huge influence on me, the pink tutu and the dancing. I just loved it. And then I continued with ballet, jazz, contemporary, flamenco until I was 16. And in Austria, we go to dance school when we were 16. That's how I started Ballroom.
So you mentioned before, I know you told me that many times that your mom didn't allow you to dance with a boy.
My mom,
Tell me that.
because in Austria this is a social thing. You know, you go to dance school at 16, the boys at 17, and then you become a debutante at the ball, and then basically that introduces you into the social life. So, I mean, my parents were rather strict. So before I was 16, I wanted to go ballroom dancing. I saw Dirty Dancing when I was like 13, 14, or whenever that came out. So
back then it was very provocative
I know,
movie.
it was very, very provocative. And I was like, wow, this is cool. And I want to learn how to ballroom dance. My mom and dad, no, you're not going to dance with a boy. So I had to wait till I was 16. And I mean, in my heart, I always dreamt to be a dancer. I watched A Chorus Line when it came out, a big influence on me. And I was just like, the whole vibe, the whole environment of professional dancers, theaters, stages, it just fascinated me. But obviously my mindset was, you go to kindergarten, you go to university, you marry, you have children, and so on, like the regular life cycle. So, you know, it was more like a...
But for you that wasn't right, so because for most of the people that's just what they like to do.
I didn't even think that this was even an option, you know. It was more like the impossible dream.
To become a ballroom dancer?
Yes, to become a dancer or to go have a career in arts or entertainment. That was like an impossible thing. It's like running away with the circus, basically. So, I obviously dreamt about it. And when I was, you know, soon after I started ballroom dancing, I obviously saw the first coaches coming in, and I saw what they did, and I knew it. I want to do this. This is what I want to do with my life. I want to be a professional. And yeah, here I am, 30 years later.
Okay, what was your first memory of the competition which made the biggest impression on you?
My first memory, my first competition was a formation team competition. That's how I started out. I started out in a formation team, and we kind of, at the time, were an overnight sensation because we were a group who was wildly passionate from Austria, and we suddenly ended up in the European Championship finals, completely unexpected. I think nobody expected it, and we from the least. And so obviously that was a very memorable moment, especially so, you know, if you dance as a couple, you're happy about something. If you dance in a team, there's 16 other people that are happy with you. So that was awesome. So that was a lot of fun.
The best, the best lesson in dancing you ever gotten? It
My
could be a
best
phrase,
dancing,
it could be,
well,
it
yeah.
could be the whole lesson, 45 minutes.
I love when I I was very stubborn mentally because, you know, once you have a ballet background, you have a feeling how you want to move, and then in ballroom dancing, everything is different. So I think I could have been much quicker, much better had I been patient enough to just give up my feeling for dancing for doing exactly what I'm told. So now, actually, when I'm teaching, I'm asking for permission to do that, because then I didn't understand that in order to go get better, you need to destroy what you do and build it new, and you continuously do that until you get better and better and better. And I was quite reluctant. If something felt good, I wanted to keep it. And that also counts for the mind. So there was one point where I was told, oh, well, you know, you need to know your paso doble routine by yourself. I'm like, well, okay, but you know, I can't do it on music, and I can't dance it with the Highland because I need my partner for that. And in comes a girl and switches on the music and dances it by herself on time with the music with all 3 highlights. And I'm, oh. Okay, so there I got my mind blown, and obviously I was very quickly very quiet, and I practiced more. So actually, yeah, my best lessons for myself were when you know, somebody showed me, yes, you can do it, and I got kind of bounced out of my personal excuses.
I see. Okay, quick ones. Your first kiss at what age?
Oh my God, I can't remember.
Okay, favorite country to visit?
Well, I would have to say home, Austria.
Okay, favorite color to wear?
Pink.
Favorite clothes brand?
My own, Babette Brown.
Oh, okay, sorry, okay. Favorite competition to visit?
Favorite competition?
Yes.
It's
not about the favoritism of competitions, but it's just like what makes impression for you.
For me, Blackpool was always very special, because I love that music and I love that floor, and it's just, as a dancer, it was just heaven for me.
If you would come back to your 20-year-old self, what would you say? Just one phrase. And with that silent note, so what would it be?
My 20-year-old self?
Yeah.
I would say just do it. Just believe you can do it, and just do it. Don't question.
Okay. So this was a little bit insights, and right now. So guys, if you have any questions regarding business, so you want to share some ideas, so Babette is available as a little hotline for dancers to talk about anything. As I understand, business, mostly business related.
Well, I want to talk about your business, your dance career, your career, your business, your studio.
Okay.
That's what this is for.